beautiful Tuesday morning here from the city of Lagos. It's Enterprise TV here on your screen. I want to say a very big thank you for always joining us to do this every morning on Enterprise Morning. My name is Choma Dorcas Okohe.
And I am Henry Ikwebike.
And today we'll be diving into our newspaper headlines. But before we go into that, if you're just joining us and you have not followed us across all social media handles, it's time for you to just follow us. You can follow us on Enterprise TV 7, or you can visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. And to do justice to the topics we'll be discussing today is no other but Emeka Madnago. Good morning, Emeka Madnago.
Good morning. Good morning, Emeka.
Thank you. And Harry, what are we doing this morning?
Yeah, so we're kicking off today with this day newspaper, which is making a front roll on our desk. And we have on the top strip here, Seplat Energy completes $800 million mobile assets transaction Thursday.
Okay, we don't have much on this day newspaper. And on the top strip, you still find Somolu inaugurates Abiola Link Road with bridge to connect communities. Details of that particular story are on page 8.
And also we have presidency, Bago Inuwa Yahya Abiru orders hail Akpabio at 62.
Okay, moving on. This is our main story we'll be looking into. An opposition's victory in Ghana signals end of APC's oppressive rule in 2027, says PDP. We'll have about 2 writers to the particular story. Atiku tackles Akume for asking North to wait till 2031 for power shift. Exposes justice, fairness. And the second writer says, ex-VP's calculation on North-South leadership wrong. This day fact-checking reviews. That would be our particular topic of discussion.
Yes, all right. Emeka, let's have a say on this particular story. It's very funny that we're having a change of narrative. There used to be a time PDP was on this side, daring the APC and telling them, the APC were on this side daring the PDP that, hey, you will not have a say, but this time we're having a reverse of the case. Now, do you think this is good enough, that it's possible that the PDP might ouster the APC come 2027?
Well, for the PDP to ouster the APC, it will have to do some internal work first of all. Political parties in Nigeria have just become mere vehicles for just winning elections, not for voter education, not for building party membership, not for that. Just come together as a special purpose vehicle to build, to win the election. Now, what happened in Ghana? Well, it now looks like a game of musical chairs. The MPP just left. The New People's Party just, going away. Then the NDC, National Democratic Congress, coming on board. So it has been like that, this way and that way, this way and that way. But what it just shows is that, power is not, power is transient. No empire lasts forever, like I say. So people, Nigerian politicians, and Nigerians themselves must begin to look at power in a more responsible way. Not as an acquisition, not as a possession, not as something to weaponize against those who don't share your beliefs, but something that should be used to develop the nation. But looking at what the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku said, well, that's a wish. I wish him all the best. But he himself has also not helped in developing a virile party democracy in Nigeria.
How, please?
By jumping ship. Look at in 2015. In 2015, Atiku wanted to be seen to be popular with the Northern view. Which is also what I think the same mistake he's trying to make again. Because they felt that, the same idea that, Yaradua was there, for just a few years. President Umar Musa Yar'Adua was there for just a few years. Then he passed on, and the power shifted to the south. And so, well, as a matter of fact, as a matter of natural succession, that power had to come back to the north. But by then, Jonathan, by 2011, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, ran for president. And Atiku was one of those who ran against him, even against popular advice that, why don't you support this man? Let's do a kind of a trading. Jonathan himself now started bringing up the idea, that power shift, blah, 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 it wasn't all that necessary. And then they reminded him of a document where his name was number 34, that he signed, that PDP, that PDP had adopted a power shift, Now look at, in the case of Ghana, when President Atta Mills died in 2012, his deputy, John Mahama, took over. Now, another a person came in, that was the other party, the NDC defeated the NPP defeated the NDC and came into power. But look at it, the same Mahama came back again and has won. He has come back. Now, some people are saying it gives hope to Atiku, having been, a former vice president. Then, all in all, politics is a game. Now, if you play your game well, you can clinch power.
Okay, thank you, Mika. Now, talking about this oppressive rule that might end in 2027, will it be fair to say, okay, Atiku coming out to say it's going to end in 2027, is it not a pot calling the kettle black in this case? Because looking at PDP, looking at APC, they've been, if we check the history, they've been the ones that have been leading for quite a long time. And they have, in a way, one way or the other, showed oppressive rule. So are we going to say it is right for Atiku to be the one in the position saying this, looking at how he has been in power before now?
Well, I will not agree with you that both of them have engaged in oppressive rule, because if you look at from 1999 to now, PDP has fared better. PDP has shown a better understanding, better handling of Nigeria's challenges.
Really?
Better than APC. Of course, yeah, PDP remains. PDP, in the history of Nigeria, got debt cancellation. PDP, it was under PDP that we got GSM. It was under PDP that we started the power privatization, even though, unfortunately, it was mismanaged.
By the same Atiku, who was in charge?
Really? No. Atiku was in charge of privatization, not in charge of power. Everything started taking shape around Jonathan's time. Obasanjo laid the groundwork for privatization, and there was nothing Atiku did that was out of place. Because don't forget that the Senate actually looked into all of these things, Did they find Atiku called people of any wrongdoing? No. Don't mind what people say. Hey, Atiku sold it to his friends. Was it supposed, if it was people he knew that showed interest in buying those companies, why those who are criticizing him, why didn't they go and bring their own friends to buy those companies? You see, it's easy, for people, to just engage in mock-raking. Atiku sold it to his friends. Atiku would have sold NNPC to his friends. Okay, who is Oando? Who owns Oando? Who owns OVH? Oando is owned by the nephew, a nephew to President Bola Tinubu. This one is even not about a friend, though. This one is about his family member. So all of these arguments are just specials. They lack substance. PDP has fared better. At least standard of living, cost of living was much lower under PDP than under APC. The sad thing was that PDP along the line got so carried away by the power it had that it began to crumble from within. It started to implode. I mean, look at when a former chairman, Chief Vincent Ogbulafor, said that PDP would stay in power for 60 years. To me, that was just wishful thinking, because Nigerians were not electing your party to stay in power. Rather, to use power to make the nation a livable place, a safe place to live.
Thank you, Mika. Thank you. I'm looking at our time. We need to get into the
Yes,
next
we need to
national
get
day.
into the next story, but just before we get into that, it's very important that we, had wanted to ask if Atiku was actually the best bet, because I remember prior to the elections, the presidential elections, he was holding a meeting with the Arewa youth in Kaduna also, and he said what the Hausa man needs is not the Igbo man or the Yoruba man. That what the Hausa man needs is a Hausa man that can connect the Hausa man to both the Igbo and the Yoruba man. Well, I do note,
politicians and sophists,
and all of that. I just hope that will not turn back to affect him.
You said it was
Yes.
an Arewa gathering.
Yes,
And
exactly.
what did you expect him to say at an Arewa gathering? If it was a gathering with Igbo leaders,
Yes, he would have said something different. All right.
with Yoruba leaders, he would say, just to live up to the moment.
All right.
That's political sophistry.
All right. So while we wait for him to live up to the moment, and let's move to the Punch newspaper.
Okay, and on the top strip of the Punch, you have KMO FCCPC differ on Air Peace Pro.
And also we have no vacancy comments. ACF Atiku orders a lampoon presidency over 2027 poll.
And still on the top strip on tax reform, National Assembly caucus meetings delay talks with AGF.
And also we have Ajayi file suit to stop Ayedatiwa as Ondo governor.
Okay, you see a picture here on the front page of the Punch, and someone opens Ifako Road Bridge.
Yes, I think I'd love to say congratulations to the Lagos State government. I know this road very well. It's along Okera, when you're going to Ogba, exactly. It used to be a no-go area, so opening up of this place and of course creating this is laudable, if you ask me.
It's a good one.
Yes, but let's get to the topic of concern here. 3,270 Nigerians gained American citizenship via military service, and that's coming from the U.S. government. Emeka Madunago. It's becoming more. We see it every other day. Some celebrities from Nollywood that are old enough to be grandfathers are enlisting themselves into the U.S. Army and turn around.
As long as they are found to be fit, forget about you are the one calling them grandfathers.
You understand, but that's just true. You understand, so most of them enlisting themselves into the U.S. Army, and of course we all know the reason, of course, just like the U.S. government has said, American citizenship via a military service. But Emeka, speak to us on this. Do you think, what does this, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? There's so much to talk about.
There's nothing unusual, about it. Just that citizens of Nigeria have gone to the United States, taking up citizenship, through the military. Of course, the United States, the military is one of the fastest routes to citizenship, or sports, or education. But military service is regarded as, a patriotic call to duty. I mean, that means you have abandoned your country. I mean, look at in Nigeria where, people in the security services complain of delayed salaries, delayed allowances, and all of that. But why would people? People jumping into the U.S. That's a great place to.
But is that why you said it's nothing unusual? Because that was your first statement.
Yeah, it's nothing unusual. Ordinarily, that somebody left his country and went to another country to join their military service.
Not because they are necessarily interested in service to that country, but of course we know why.
Yeah, I was going there. Yes. I was going to that place. It's for economic reasons. That's why it's ordinarily not unusual. But of course, it's for economic reasons. So Nigerians are really desperate. Many Nigerians are desperate to get out of this country.
Shouldn't our leaders be ashamed that their citizens are not just ordinary citizens? These are citizens that have been in the limelight. These are citizens that have actually been people that people look up to.
Ambassadors,
people that when it comes to the entertainment, come to arts, they've actually stood there and have actually given us something to look forward to. But all of a sudden, you look at the national dailies, you look at the Easter blog and you're seeing them wearing the uniform of another country. Shouldn't this be a wake-up call for us, for our leaders, for you to say that it is nothing unusual?
Ordinarily, I say ordinarily, but you see, yes, if you don't prioritize your citizens, they will not prioritize you now. I mean, citizenship is not a call to servitude or a call to poverty. You know, they must pay the bills. They are ambassadors. Yes, ambassadors who can't afford to pay children's school fees or feed the family. What kind of ambassadors are they? You know, somebody was telling me about somebody who has been, you know, an ardent political supporter of APC, you know, in Lagos. He, you know, that the guy is an actor and all of that, but he now said that things have gone so bad because, you know, they are gone into power and they don't bother about many of them, you know. So now, somebody wants to do a movie and offered him 70,000 naira. And he said, look at the whole me at this stage, 70,000 naira. You know, that's the sad reality. Yes, our leaders ought to be ashamed. Look at the last call, you know, recruitment into the Nigerian army. Some states were even begging their citizens to join. Some states, people said they were not interested in joining. Or was it the police? They said they were not interested in joining. So that tells you, you know, what people prefer. You know, they prefer a land of opportunities. They prefer a land that will take care of their children. If they go to military service and they die, you know, in the process, you know, at least their children can be sure of a future. But, you know, in a country, excuse me, that only takes care of the over-pampered and over-subsidized elite, you know, the ruling class. Why should, I mean, well, anybody wants to go to another country and join their military service to further the economic drive for economic sustainability. To me, there's nothing wrong with it. Let people go.
All right. Lastly, let's go to Vanguard newspaper and see what they have there. And the big story here: mounting e-waste triggers health crisis in children. And the writer here: 70% of children near recycling areas is severely affected. Nigeria's e-waste challenge alarming stage, and 60,000 tons of second-hand electronics flow in annually, 90% improperly disposed.
Okay, moving on the top strip of the Vanguard newspaper, we have anti-corruption war should begin from leadership. That is coming from Obasanjo.
Yes, but let's take a look at that and before we call it a go today.
Yes. Emeka Madnago, looking at the president or the former president of Olusegun Obasanjo, because he was one of the lead president that actually brought up a lot of innovations and change in the country, Nigeria, and him saying anti-corruption war should begin from leadership. Is it wrong to say that, or it should be something that should be one of the goals of this current leaders come 2025?
You see, like the Chinese say, the fish gets rotting from the head. So if the leaders are corrupt, what do you expect the ordinary Nigerian to do? You see some people writing some funny articles. Corruption, the messenger who takes bribe, the tire repairer who does this. What do you mean? Leadership should inspire. If those in leadership are not thieves, if they are not looting the nation, nobody, a messenger will not even dream of it. But when you see a former CBN governor, you see 753 duplexes traced to a former CBN governor, what do you expect the messenger in central bank to think of? You think he wants to retire poor without even a roof over his head? His family members will reject him. They will disown him. His wife may even leave him. His children may abandon him. How do you build patriotism in people when you don't show the right example? You have people who have looted this country and they are sitting pretty, making so much noise, causing distraction to the polity, you know. Why? Because nobody has prosecuted them. In China, they would have been executed. Just one bullet to the back of the head would have ended everything. What we are talking about, you see people blaming the British. They say, the British should not have granted Nigeria independence in 1960. They should have waited for another 50 years. I say no, they should never have granted Nigeria independence at all, because we don't have that position to be responsible. We don't want to take responsibility for our actions and inactions, and that is why it's convenient to blame, you know, all kinds of people. Oh, this man shouldn't have done it. Listen, what example are you showing in your little corner? As a leader, what are you doing with the funds under your care? How are you inspiring people behind you? Because one day you will leave the seat. You know, there's this problem about thinking that you will be on a seat forever. No. If you're a governor or president, senate, or one day it will all come to an end. So if you don't use the power you have, the resources accruing to your office for the growth and development of society, for the good of the people, then you will not make any headway. You will only just be, just be a problem, a piece of baggage, on the society, and that is what you see. That's why former President Obasanjo is saying such a thing. Yes, he set up the EFCC, he set up the ICPC, but how effective are those organizations today? You have former governors working free. Look at all the effort that EFCC put into chasing Yaya Bello. Why didn't they put some other effort into chasing other governors? And the governors are walking about freely because they are connected to the to the powers that be. Do you know there are some high-ranking members of this administration against whom EFCC has listed, even filed charges? Why has EFCC dropped their prosecution? One of them said he was ill. I was going abroad for treatment. He is back. He lives in this country. But EFCC community looks away. But you can parade the Yahoo boys. Parade the Yahoo boys with their possessions.
Thank you so
But
much.
you now come to 753 duplexes. You say, no, a former top. Look, until we decide to be truth, to be people who speak the truth, to have leaders who are honest. You see, corruption, this thing we call corruption is actually stealing, and it should be punished as stealing. In fact, worse than armed robbery.
Thank you so much, Emeka.
Very true.
Thank you.
All right, that's just about the size of our package for package for this segment. And of course, Emeka will be right here to take us also on our main conversation for today. Thank you so very much, Emeka.
Thank you.
I truly do appreciate you. Yes, but when we return, Dele Farotimi granted 50 million naira bail amid cybercrime allegations. That in a bit, Still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.